Why do I keep getting line tangles when using a C-rod? If you're frustrated by frequent line tangles, or bird nests, when using a C-rod, you're not alone. Many beginners face this problem, especially when using a bait casting reel. The main culprit behind these tangles is when the speed at which the spool releases line exceeds the speed of the lure's flight, causing the line to twist and bunch up inside the reel. However, with some systematic adjustments, you can greatly reduce or even eliminate these frustrating tangles. Let's dive into the details. 1. Spool control. Your thumb is both accelerator and brake. Your thumb is the key to controlling the release of the line during casting. Beginners often make the mistake of letting the spool spin freely, especially when the lure slows down due to wind resistance or hitting the water. Correct technique. Light thumb pressure. During the cast, apply light pressure on the spool with your thumb to control how quickly the line is released. Accelerator to brake. When the lure first leaves the rod, let the spool spin fast, like hitting the gas pedal, but as the lure approaches the water, apply pressure to slow the spool, like applying the brakes. This smooth transition ensures the line doesn't spill out uncontrollably. Practice tip: start with an old line in an open area and practice this accelerator to brake transition to get a feel for how much thumb pressure corresponds to the speed of the lure. 2. Brake system, your dual safety net. Bait casting reels often come with 2 types of brakes: mechanical, centrifugal, and magnetic. Proper use of both can prevent tangles. Mechanical brakes. These control the spool's friction and help slow it down, especially useful for beginners or in windy conditions. You can adjust the number of brake beans inside the spool to increase resistance. Magnetic brakes. These use magnets to create resistance that slows down the spool during the cast, particularly effective for long-distance casting and heavy lures. Best setup for beginners. Start with 3 to 4 mechanical brake beans and set the magnetic brake to 5 to 7. This provides a good balance for most casting conditions. As you improve, gradually reduce the brake settings to achieve longer casts. Important note: always recalibrate the brakes when switching lure weights or fishing in different environmental conditions. 3. Line selection. The compatibility logic. The type of line you use can significantly impact how prone your setup is to tangles. Nylon line. It has stretch and strong memory, but it can get coiled over time, leading to tangles. It's best for beginners as it provides cushioning during tangling. PE, braided line. This line has no memory and is very strong, but it's smooth, which makes it prone to slipping off the spool if the line is released too quickly. Fluorocarbon line, a hybrid between nylon and PE. It's highly sensitive and works well for certain fishing techniques. Line tips. Beginners should start with nylon line for its forgiving nature when it tangles. Once you're comfortable, switch to PE line, but make sure your spool is filled to no more than 80% to prevent tangles. Always ensure your line is evenly wound on the spool to allow for smooth line release. 4. Lure weight matching, casting rhythm for light and heavy lures. The weight of your lure affects the speed at which the spool spins. Too light or too heavy of a lure can cause line tangles if not managed properly. Light lures, e.g., under 5 grams, require the spool to spin quickly, and if you don't control the spool speed well, the line may spill out and tangle. Heavy lures, e.g., over 20 grams, can suddenly stop the spool due to resistance, causing the line to release unevenly and tangle. Optimal weight for beginners. Use 10-15 G lures. These strike a balance between manageable spool speed and casting distance. Watch the flight path. If the lure swings to the left or right mid-air, adjust your thumb pressure or brake system to match the speed of the cast. 5. Environmental adaptation. Adjust for wind, terrain, and obstacles. Environmental factors play a huge role in preventing tangles. Wind. Wind can either speed up or slow down your lure. With tailwind, you may need to apply more brake or thumb pressure to control the spool speed. Against the wind, reduce pressure to avoid undersupplying line. Terrain. Casting near trees or rocks requires a shorter distance to avoid sudden line stops caused by obstacles. The spool may continue spinning, leading to tangles if the lure gets stuck. Aquatic plants. In areas with duckweed or aquatic plants, your lure may get caught, so be ready to press the spool and stop the line release as soon as resistance occurs. Tip for adaptation: always adjust your brake settings or thumb pressure based on the environment. Fishing in windy conditions or around obstacles requires a more precise control over spool release. 6. Practice methods. From deliberate control to muscle memory. The best way to avoid tangles is through practice. Over time, you'll develop muscle memory that allows you to cast without thinking about the mechanics. Target casting. Set up markers at 3m, 5m, and 10m distances and practice casting to these points. This will help you master thumb control across different distances. Dry casting. Without a lure, practice casting using only your thumb to control the spool. This simulates real-world conditions and helps develop consistent thumb pressure. Real-world practice. Once you feel confident with dry casting, practice in real fishing scenarios. Gradually increase difficulty by varying weather conditions, terrain, and lure weights. Muscle memory. Even experienced anglers need to recalibrate their technique when switching to new gear or environments, so never stop practicing. Conclusion. Line tangles don't have to be a part of your fishing experience. When you understand how spool rotation, brake systems, line selection, and lure weight affect the release of your fishing line, you can minimize tangles by making informed adjustments. Over time, with the right equipment and consistent practice, you'll build an intuitive connection with your gear, reducing frustrations and enhancing your fishing experience. About the author. I'm a passionate fishing enthusiast and self-media blogger committed to helping others master the art of fishing. Follow me for more tips, tricks, and insights into the world of fishing. Like, save, and follow to never miss future updates.